So the way this program is going to work is we're just going to reintroduce each other, but we're going to kick this off. I'm Chris Cooney with the Metro South Chamber of Commerce, but it's my pleasure. Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to introduce and kick this off with our host, the president of Massasoit Community College, Ray DiPasquale. If you haven't met Ray, he's a force in his own right, very positive in nature, and has been just a whirlwind since he arrived here. So please join me in welcoming our host, Ray DiPasquale.
Well, thank you, Chris, and welcome, President Clark. It's good to see you. Wow, what a great crowd and what a great night. You know, it's really about celebrating Brockton, right, Mayor?
Yes, it is.
This is Brockton. And you know what we often think about is, you know, Massasoit sits here. We are the only college, I'm sorry, Mr. President, but we are the only college in Brockton. And we are Brockton's community college, and we're very, very, very proud of that this evening. And to be part of this video and to host you tonight is very special for us. We've been continuing to open the college to all kinds of events. We have the chamber here, Chris, with a wonderful luncheon. We're going to do a lot more things here on campus, so it absolutely is thrilling to see all of you here tonight and all our good friends. Chris, thank you, because you've been nothing but a friend since I've been here, and we're a big part of the chamber, and I look forward to being on your board very soon as well. So with that, just a couple of things I want to say to you and then introduce the mayor, is that, you know, we're very proud this evening of one particular person who works at this college, who is actually the director of marketing, and she was the narrator of this video. She's also a resident of Brockton. So when you hear her voice, I want all of you to know who it is. Virginia DePina, please stand up so everybody can see you. And on Monday, because we're off tomorrow, she'll make sure I get that back, right, for doing that to you. So we also have one of our board of trustees who is the owner of the Brockton Beer Company with us tonight. And as a board of trustee member, Eval, please stand up, and great to have you here. So with that, and it's a very quick agenda, and because we really want to see the video. So it really is a privilege to be able to introduce the mayor. Literally, my first few weeks here, few months here, I got to meet him, and it's like I've known him my whole life. Great guy, you know, besides all the political stuff, but boy, is he doing good things for this city. He's making this city come alive again. And we're going to be part of downtown. We're going to have a presence downtown with the college facility. And we're going to invite our good friends from Bridgewater State to be part of that as well. But the mayor has been nothing but a friend to this college, and his passion for the city of Brockton, and I've worked in a lot of cities and in different towns and a lot of schools. There's nobody more passionate, more caring, and he's going to do things for this city that, boy, I can't wait. I can't wait, Mayor. And the things that he's already doing and the partnerships that we're doing are just going to continue. So it is indeed a real privilege for me to introduce a friend, a partner, and the great mayor of the great city of Brockton.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to President DiPasquale and his team here at Massasoit Community College. I know Bill Mitchell is here, and there's a lot of time and effort is put into when you host something. But this is the perfect venue. This is the perfect venue here in the City of Champions, where people are coming together tonight to showcase Brockton, right? What Brockton is, the diversity, the wonderful businesses, and quite honestly, what it is, it's the people that make up the City of Brockton. And so I want to specifically thank a few folks. I want to thank Bob Rivers, the CEO of Eastern Bank, and his team. So when you think about a CEO of a huge banking institution, right, that is recognized not just in the Commonwealth, but in the nation, and then you peel back the layers that he doesn't have enough time in the day to do what he does, but yet he takes time to talk to me on a regular basis. He takes time to speak to business opportunities in Brockton. He grew up in Stoughton. He spent time at the Westgate Mall on Friday nights. Again, I want to thank you, Bob Rivers. I want to thank you. I also want to thank, again, the president was nice and really kind to say the mayor is doing this. I'm just the mayor, right? I'm Bob from Brockton. I can only achieve what we collectively work together to achieve. It's about collaboration. We're better together. And this video tonight, I'm just so thrilled by it. I am so thrilled about it. I want to thank Chris Cooney and the team at Metro South Chamber of Commerce as well, because at the end of, yes, please. Because at the end of the day, when you have a dream, right, of something that is going to be a wonderful marketing tool, and that's what it is. It's showcasing what Brockton is. We have to take the time to tell our own story. We that live and work in the city of Brockton understand what a special place it is. Those on the outside, they're starting to realize what Brockton is. Brockton is on the radar right now of not just local developers, but I'm talking to developers on the West Coast. I'm talking to developers in the South and in Florida. I'm talking to net worth people that are listed in Forbes magazine, people that understand what Brockton is, that the return on investment is real. So when I became mayor of Brockton, and I want to thank all the elected officials here. I know if I name them all off, I'm going to miss them. But, you know, this is about the city council and the mayor and the school committee and the county officials and our wonderful state delegation and working with the best congressman, in my humble opinion, Stevie Lynch, and working with Senator Markey and working with Senator Warren. This is what it means to be a public servant, right? To make sure that we can showcase Brockton, Massachusetts, and make sure that people only think of Brockton in a positive, beneficial light. When you turn on the news, and I was just up in Pittsfield, and someone said to me, hey, you grew up in Brockton. Were you actually in a gang? You laugh. But this is a highly educated person that said that to me. And my response was a little different than a laugh, I'll tell you that. But what I did say is, when you hear about Brockton on the news, a lot of times it's the bad things, right? It's the gun violence, it's the drugs. We're a city of 106,000 people, the only city in Plymouth County. But you don't hear about the 8 kids that graduated from Brockton High last year that got accepted to Ivy League schools. And you don't hear about the wonderful boys and girls that are joining the armed services and protecting our nation right now, right? So I want to thank the professionals. When you talk about, you know, coming up with a video, it sounds easy to do, but I'll tell you right now, it's not. And we have the right people. We have the true professionals that you're going to hear from tonight. The showpiece that you see tonight, some people may say, well, it's only 2 or 2.5 minutes. And my response to that is, it's going to be the best damn 2.5 minutes you ever saw. Because you're going to be able to see Brockton, right? All the different aspects of Brockton, right? And you look around the room, and this is Brockton, right? Different ages and different colors of our skin and different perspective. And some people went to college and some people didn't. And some people are working blue collar and some people are white collar. But that's what Brockton is. It always has been. So as mayor, you know, I'm just saying thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you, right? And I have to give a special thanks. Today is the Marine Corps' birthday. I have to thank everybody that served in the Marine Corps. And tomorrow, again, is Veterans Day. We have to always remember. We would not be able to assemble like this. We would not have been able to have a wonderful election on Tuesday like we did without the sacrifices of the men and women. So again, I'm just Bob from Brockton. I was fortunate enough to be born and raised in this beautiful place that we call Brockton, Massachusetts in Ward 2. I'm fortunate enough to have my mom and dad still with us. My dad was a teacher at Brockton High for 36 years, and my mom was a nurse, and we didn't grow up with any money at all. I flipped burgers to get through BC, and I had student loans until I was in my 30s. But you know what? I wouldn't change a thing, because Brockton is a special place, and we can control our own destiny. When you talk about a $540 million business known as the City of Brockton, $500 million business, that's our budget, we're in the people business. But we have to make sure we help our people. We help our businesses. We help economic development and growth. We help our tax base. We help our Massasoit, our community colleges, and Bridgewater State, and Stonehill, and Curry, and all the educational pursuits that are going to help the next generation. Someone said to me today, I was at Brockton High School for 2.5 hours today, myself and my wonderful chief of staff, Sidney Merrill. 2.5 hours in a government and civic group, 3 different classes asking me questions. And the last question was the most important question I heard all day. They were great questions, articulate and well thought out. They were great questions. The last question was, Mr. Mayor, what's your most important job? Mayor's not my most important job. Being a dad to my 3 kids and trying to be a good husband is the most important job, in my opinion. So as mayor of Brockton, which I won't be forever, but while I'm mayor of Brockton, I want to work with you, I want to work for you, and we're going to achieve great, great things, right? Because the trajectory is ours and reality is ours. We have it in our grasp. Tonight, you're going to see step 1 of many steps, but without us harnessing the technology, harnessing the intellectual capacity of everybody in this room, we're not going to achieve the greatness that we deserve, that we will achieve by working together. So God bless each and every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for packing this joint tonight, because we weren't sure who was going to be here, right? But this place is full. And the other thing I want to thank the businesses that are here in Brockton, the ones that are taking leaps of faith during a pandemic, like Brockton Beer, the Me Niñas that didn't have to relocate to Brockton, Massachusetts. And my last pledge is this: as long as I'm mayor, Brockton is open for business. We're going to use every tool in the toolbox we can do, from historic tax credits, to ties, to TIFs, to the HDIP. Everything that we have, we're going to harness and we're going to utilize. So again, enjoy tonight, and let's keep going, because Brockton is better. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, I saw this guy get elected just before the pandemic, and you know, we had seen him on the city council since early 2000s. And Mayor, I've really seen you adapt and change, but I think your finest hours have been since the pandemic and your response to this emergency. And you know, there's a couple of good examples of that, right? I mean, he's the only mayor who kept the construction going on through the whole entire pandemic, right? That allowed a lot of buildings to get built and a lot of banks to feel much better knowing the buildings in Brockton were being built. It also provided jobs and in a safe way allowed the development in downtown to continue on. He also sat in on 50 calls with the Chamber of Commerce each and every Friday to start, and then we went every other week and then monthly, filling in the business community on what was happening at the city level and where the resources were. So we really appreciate that, Mayor. Thank you very much. So the Chamber of Commerce is a regional organization. I'm going to kind of run through 4 points here, connecting thousands of business community leaders from throughout the Metro South region. We've been here for more than 100 years. Our primary focus is on Brockton. We're a regional chamber. We started in Brockton. We're in Brockton. We're located right at the Thomas Edison building, right across the street from City Hall. We've owned that building for over 30 years, and it's full of tenants who also service the city of Brockton's business community. Brockton, you know, is the hub of this region. It's also the only city in Plymouth County, and it's continually growing. In fact, we're the 5th largest city in the state of Massachusetts. With this new brand and digital video, the Chamber wants to draw attention anew to the prospects of new residents, right? People coming to Brockton and growing the city. Also, new businesses. It's a great place to start businesses. The value proposition is here. And then finally, there were more than 500 hotel rooms in the city that were dramatically negatively impacted by this pandemic. We need to refill those hotel rooms. And so this video is going to help be a catalyst for reminding people who are here why they're here, and also hopefully encouraging folks to come check out the city of Brockton. I think we know a stronger Brockton means a better Brockton and a better region. We also know as Brockton goes, so goes the entire region, right? We need Brockton to do well for all of us to do well. Again, you heard me thank the mayor of Brockton, but there's somebody who's kind of gone unnoticed. The mayor mentioned him, but going back 10 years ago, Bob Rivers, the president of Eastern Bank, you know, called me up and just said, hey, I'm the new guy, I just took over a local bank. And I said to him, I said, you're located in Lynn, north of Boston. And he started talking, and I just started listening. And I've been through this many times before with bank presidents. And it usually goes in a way that they're not familiar with Brockton. They have misperceived conceptions, and I've got to spend a lot of time convincing them that it's a city to invest in. But by the end of the first 5 minutes, he tells me, I grew up in Stoughton, and I got a lot of favorite places in Brockton. And by the way, I graduated from Stonehill College, and I took the BAT bus every day. You know, I commuted, I didn't live on campus, and I said, thank God, this guy knows Brockton. So shortly after, he asked, gee, can you think we can do something? I said, what do you mean we, the bank? And he goes, no, me, I want to be there. I want to be in the city. I want to help. And, you know, we also have been around long enough to see that sometimes that wanes. This was 10 or 12 years ago, and he's still here on a regular basis. He's still texting me on a regular basis, emailing, and we frankly wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for him and his staff, his dedicated staff, right? So thank you very much and for everything you're doing and all the good stuff. Also, thank you for lending us Andrea about 3 or 4 years ago. Andrea is in the back of the room. She's, you know, responsible for much of what went on today. Andrea Goodman is Director of Marketing, I guess, and Relations for the bank, and she's really made Brockton her second home the last few years, helping us. I also want to recognize the state resources that we use. The Chamber was able to match the funds from the Eastern Bank Foundation as well as the City of Brockton, and we were able to access 2 major funds, one from the Mass Office of Business Development and another one from Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. These were grants that were coming out in the last year. I saw what was going on here. We took the pieces from Grant and others who were working on this initiative, and we actually just asked the state if they would support this. And fortunately, they did. So I want to thank the state delegation. I know Senator Brady's here. I think Representative Dubois was registered. She is here, okay. Also, Representative Cassidy. I think I saw him earlier. And, of course, our brand new state representative, Rita Mendez. Let's have a round of applause for her. Congratulations. So we couldn't do this without them. I also want to thank personally Mike Keneally, Kiko Oral, Margaret LaForest, and Susan Whitaker, who all were from those agencies who guided us through the process so that we not only received the grants but also spent it in the proper way. So it's now my pleasure to introduce Grant Pace. Grant Pace is a principal at Conover, Tuttle and Pace. Often people underestimate, and you heard a little bit of it today, underestimate the time, resources, and creative genius it takes to create a brand and related digital content and videos. The context, the tone, the timing of such a video, and the branding campaign take a lot of effort and a lot of coordination. We are most fortunate that we found a creative genius in Grant Pace, who we're going to hear from shortly, of CTP. So the organization goes by CTP Advertising. He, along with his creative team, have produced thousands of brand campaigns for many nationally recognized companies. They're located in Boston, but I can tell their heart is slowly growing into the Brockton direction, and you'll see that, what I mean, when you see his video. We're delighted Brockton is among CTP's now current clients, and I would like it if you join me in welcoming our creative genius, Grant Press.
All right, I swear I didn't write that script. In fact, I did write a script, what I was going to talk about, but I feel like I'd be missing the point, because I was going to talk about our process and how we came up with this idea and how we produced it, and it would be missing the point, because how it all happened is right here. It's sitting in this room. I look at Virginia, who's our voiceover. I look at the mayor and his team. We spent endless Zoom calls, thanks to Bob and others, with the chamber and their team and the city and their team and other business leaders, and we learned everything there was to know about Brockton, right? We learned about all the firsts. And the mayor can tell you a bunch. I know that the first power grid and the catcher's mitt, and after that I get lost. But he can tell you like 100 of them. We learned about the immigrants that came here and how that kind of laid the groundwork for becoming the most diverse community in all of New England. We learned what an amazing place it was to start a business or start a family, or just have a better life. And it brought us this theme of new beginnings. We started with that. We had these new beginnings, and we played with that for a while, and this idea of where better begins really came from the group. There was lots of talk about Brockton. It's better in Brockton, and why don't people know more about it and stuff? So there's a lot of ideas I've worked on that I'll take credit for, and it's a white piece of paper, and it's me coming up with something. This was just about getting out of the way, because the spirit and the heart and the soul that the people from this town feel is undeniable. And all I had to do was listen. Honestly, that was the process. was listening and then letting it take shape, because the production-wise, we had help with local production company, New Bay Productions, that was, anything we asked for, any scene we needed, any event that was happening, we got it. We need another drone shot of the high school, got it. You know, whatever you need. Virginia, it's the voiceover. You know, the words you write for a script are important, but bring them to life, they have to come from a genuine place, from a place of someone that's lived it and believes it. And the first time we heard your voice on there, it was, we found it. And then you had you do it over and over again 50 times too, and you didn't even complain about that. And then the cast, there's no actors in this thing. It's the businesses in this room. It's the people in this room. It's the grandchildren of people in this room. For a long time, we referred to this, I referred to it in some of our calls as a love letter to Brockton, right? It's not. It is a love letter from Brockton, because you made this thing. And I think when you see it, you'll see what I'm talking about. I've made 1 million commercials in my life, right? This is something different. This is a town telling their story, right? So it's been humbling to work on. It's been a privilege to work on. I can't wait to see where it can go from here, because tonight is a call to launch for a reason, right? This is where it just starts and goes from here. So I wanted to take a quick moment and just give a shout out to the people that are here tonight, the companies that open their doors, and others. I know we're going to take a picture afterwards and stuff, but just a quick little shout out to the people that you're going to see in the film. Mention Newbie Productions. Sam Williams, our photographer, is here, I believe. We got some amazing stills that are going to be used in print and outdoor and other places. Jen Sargent was our fearless producer over multiple days. Very aggressive production schedule. We've got the Barber Corporation, Rich Hines, I believe is here. Brockton Beer, thank you. The Brockton Neighborhood Health Center, got some great shots from there. Campanelli Stadium and our awesome Brockton Rocks players. Cape Cod Cafe, if you haven't had any pizza yet. I'm trying to figure out a way to sneak out like my own pizza on the way out of here. I think I'm gonna like hide it somewhere in the back, whatever. Fuller Craft Museum, what an amazing place. Massasoit Community College, of course, for having us here tonight. We've got Mantilio's Bakery. Woohoo! The Tortilleria Menina, the awesome chips. We all know what I'm talking about, right? My Spanish is horrible. Taylor Harris and the Snelling family for showing up and being in this for us. Sydney's family, thank you. And then not able to attend, but certainly an important part of the video, Vicente Supermarket. WB Mason. The friendly folks at the DW Field Golf Course. You'll see a couple of golf shots in there. Prova, awesome community events. And the Brockton Public Schools. You'll see that incredible drone shot in here as well. So I get the fun part. I get to say showtime. Everybody got their popcorn ready? I think we're going to dim the lights. And we're going to crank up the audio and enjoy your story.
A better job, a better home, a better life. Who hasn't wished for these things, worked for them, and sought a place where they had a better chance of becoming real? For generations, Brockton has welcomed those seeking something better. From those who came in search of opportunity to today's multicultural population that makes us the most diverse community in all of New England. Brockton is a place where homes are more affordable, communities closer, where a strong and talented workforce fuels the success of businesses big and small, and the vision of a more diverse and equitable America is being realized every day. It's where ideas take root, businesses grow, communities thrive, new beginnings unfold, and the promise of a better life is kept. Brockton, Massachusetts, where better begins.
That's it. That's Brockton. That's Brockton. I want to thank Grant and CTP. I mean, they're true professionals, right? But I also want to thank every man and woman that took the time to be in that video, right? Because you took time out of your lives because you have a same vision that I have. And I want to thank Sue Joss and Neighborhood Health Center for two things. Number one, the people that worked at Neighborhood Health Center and Brockton Hospital Signature and Good Samaritan Medical Center and the VA Hospital saved lives during the pandemic. So let's give them a round of applause. And then I look around the room and you know, I love Eastern Bank, and the only difference Bob and I have is I love the cod, and he still likes the spa over there in Stone. But eventually, we're winning him over. We're winning him over. But then I look around, I see Willie Stadelman Electric, 100 years here in the city of Brockton, and Concord Foods, Peter Neville was up there. I mean, this is Brockton, right? It's showcasing the best of Brockton. And we are a wonderful, wonderful city in the Commonwealth and in the nation. And we have to continue to make sure that we tell our own story. This is step one. This is the right step in the right direction. Chris mentioned that he was generous enough to get some funding, but he's a very, he doesn't really talk too much, but he gave $50,000. Bob Rivers, $50,000. The city of Brockton, $50,000. So when you talk about 150 grand, 150 grand is a lot of money, right? But the return on investment is real. So every penny that was spent is in that. And there was not one paid actor. Even though some of you keep saying to me, can you become members of SAG or AFTRA now? You cannot be, okay? You cannot be. You get no residuals when we play this. But the next thing is, what do we do with it? Well, I'm going to ask you to help us, because we now want to utilize this tool in the toolbox. So I can tell you it's going out in the mainstream. It's going on social media. The City of Brockton's website, Brockton Public Schools, New Heights Charter School, Cardinal Spellman, Trinity Catholic, Southeastern Regional, where 65% of the kids are from Brockton. And if you go on anybody's signature page that works for the City of Brockton, you can have a link, and it's going to go out. And we need to keep getting it out there. And so if you want to grab a pint of Brockton beer, great, grab a pint of Brockton beer. If you want to go to the Cod and grab a pizza, great, do that. But tell this story. Hey, did you see that video about Brockton? Oh, you don't know what you're missing, you know? Nothing against Doug Flutie and Big Poppy and the Eastern Bank commercials. They're awesome. This is better. This is better. So, again, I just want to say thank you to Massasoit. Thank you to Grant. Thank you to Chris and his team. Again, Bob Rivers and his team. George Montilio for the wonderful cake that's down there. If you're keto-friendly, which I'm trying to do right now, have it. No calories in those Montilio cakes, I promise you. But again, let's continue to network and come together as a community, right? And take opportunities to talk and exchange cards and to figure out what the next step is, because we can control the destiny for the city of Brockton. God bless each and every one of you, and thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes. So if you were in the video, we'd like you to be up here so we can get you in a photo. We also have complimentary shirts. Emma and Catherine, can you hold those up so folks can see? These are long sleeve shirts donated in part by Eastern Bank, and we appreciate that. The logos are excellent.
Sell those on eBay, please.
Those are free with stickers and a couple other things over there, so on your way out. And cookies. Grab a cookie, please. plenty of food. But if you were in the video, come on up now, please, and so we can get a photo. And we'll be here for another hour or so, so help yourself to some chips and some drinks. Thank you all for coming.